What's up, everybody? Welcome to Devonius' Domain Toy Review. I said that I would do more haul reviews for the Black Series figures I have acquired over the past couple weeks, and you know what? Here I am to deliver. We're going to be looking at the Clone Commander Cody from the new Revenge of the Sith Black Series subline. Right here, we're going to be doing the Deluxe Clone Wars Savage Press. We're going to be doing the Star Wars Ahsoka 2-pack with the Night Trooper and Captain Enoch. And then we're also going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Acolyte Jedi Master Kelnaka. And to start off, we're going to be taking a look at Cody here. This is pretty cool. I got this at Walmart along with the other figures I did in my review haul the last video in the classic Revenge of the Sith packaging. This guy is a beaut. He's looking quite cool. There is the classic side profile there for Cody. Very, very cool. Holding the Sidious hologram, executing Order 66. There's a look at the figure in the packaging. There's his blaster, the hologram, helmet, figure. Great packaging, great classic packaging. Taking a look here at the back. You can pause that to read that if you want. More figure profiling and whatnot. Really love that Vader shape of the packaging. Very, very cool, very nostalgic for me, having grown up with the Revenge of the Sith line coming out. As I was growing up, getting more and more into Star Wars, so very cool. Happy to be taking a look at this, very excited. And then we're going to take a look here at the Deluxe Savage Press. This is pretty cool. Pretty big guy in a big deluxe box. I don't really think he's deluxe if you ask me, but you know, we'll get into that in the video. Looking at the mural art right here. Pretty cool. Doesn't look quite like Savage to me. I don't know if they were like trying to make him look live action or what, but it's cool. It's good. And then again with the profile on the back there. Read that if you'd like. There he is, Savage Press. And then taking a look here at these guys. I originally wasn't going to get these, but I really wanted to kind of round out my Thrawn guys and my Imperial guys, so I decided to get they're just such cool designs. I figured, like, why the hell not? I'm probably also going to get the new Ezra Bridger that comes in his Night Trooper disguise, because, you know, more variety with the red bandages and cracks and whatnot, you know, to have him up there with this guy. Because I know that the TVC did the 4-pack with a variety of the different red bandages that weren't all unique sculpts to each other, but I'm sure that the new Ezra will be. So at least akin to this guy. So that's pretty cool. So looking at the guys up there, now that I'm done rambling, pretty cool, pretty cool. Looking at the mural here, that is a pretty dope mural. I really like how it's kind of just like half of him, full of him. That's really neat. And this looks fantastic. That looks really, really good. That looks really, really awesome. Very cool. For anybody that wants to read that right there. And then we're going to be taking a look at Kelnaka. I also was at first not going to spring for this dude, mainly because of the price, you know, the deluxe price, and I just wasn't really feeling that, but I decided to shoot for him because I really did want a Wookiee Jedi. I like Kelnaka, so pretty cool. There he is inside the packaging. His mural here, almost too big to fit on the mural. Pretty dope. Profile there on the back. Anybody that wants to read that, there you go. And I also figured I'd pull out a surprise. Not only am I going to be reviewing these guys, I'm also going to be taking a gander at this guy. That's right. That's right. I'm a member of the Yord Horde. That's right. So we're going to be taking a look at Yord also to kind of coexist here with Jedi Master Kelnaka. Pretty cool. Jedi Knight Yord Fandar. I don't know if I pronounced his last name correctly, but yep, another yellow-bladed Jedi for the collection. There's a mural on the side. It looks pretty damn cool if you ask me. Pretty cool. Look at this here on the back. Read the profile if you'd like. So yeah, I'm going to be taking a look at all these different figures here just to knock a bunch of reviews out. So let's get right into it. Let's open these guys up, see what we got going on here. Alright, so after having taken a look at the Commander Cody, Savage Opress, Night Trooper, Captain Enoch, Jedi Master Kelnaka, and Jedi Knight Yord, I can say, I enjoy all these figures. I mean, they're all pretty cool. You get kind of a good feel for what they can do, kind of with the poses and whatnot that I just showed. But I will kind of go into depth about some of the things that I like, some of the things I didn't like, you know. This is Hasbro we're talking about. It is Hasbro putting the Star Wars IP to the test in 6-inch form here with the Black Series, so you know there's going to be a little bit of a nitpick, especially from me. I just expect absolute quality from these figures for the price. So let's get into it. First off, Commander Cody. I've been waiting for a new Commander Cody mold for quite a while since they archived the Commander Cody a while ago. I was like, damn, this was a pretty good opportunity to make a new Commander Cody sculpt, and they did. Unfortunately, I think this is so weird. I find this very bizarre. They put like scuffs and battle damage on the chest plate, but nowhere else. And I know you're like, oh, well, they put like scuffs here and there, and it's like on the shoulder. It's only front facing, and I find that very lazy, and I find that very odd. Like back of the shoulder pads, there's no white scuffs. Back of the shoulder pads, there's no white scuffs. There's no damage back here whatsoever. I just think it's incredibly lazy. I understand it's like, oh, well, you're not going to be seeing the back of the figure a whole lot, but come on, Hasbro, that is just ridiculous. I mean, this is a commander of the 2/112th, like at the tail end of the Clone Wars. He's obviously going to be scuffed up, so I'm obviously going to have to put in some work here to make him look the way I think he should look, to make him look presentable. Also, it was kind of a bitch getting this into his hand. AliExpress is kind of doing this thing where they have an extra hand where you can just kind of pop it into his hand to make a clone hold the Order 66 hologram comlink, and it was kind of difficult to get into this guy's hands because he doesn't have hands that are made for holding that. So that's a little bit frustrating. An extra hand probably would have been helpful, but what am I expecting? Also, this is not Commander Cody's head scan. And I know what you're thinking, Devonius, he's a clone. They all look the same. Cody has a scar on his face. And I know that's a nitpick, but if you're going to do like the helmetless clones with the human face scans underneath, get it right. He's got a scar on his face, so that's another thing I'm going to have to fix, and it's a little bit frustrating. I think they lazed out big time on that. Also, yes, another complaint. It did not come with a blaster rifle. It came with only this blaster. It could have came with a whole other blaster rifle. I don't know what the thought process was behind them not giving us another rifle. I guess they maybe thought, oh, it comes with the helmet and it comes with the hologram, so he shouldn't come with anything else. That's ridiculous, man. We're paying $25 now. These figures are only going to get more expensive. Hasbro, do your part in giving collectors their proper compensation for purchasing your items. Some positives of this figure: the articulation is pretty damn good. You can get this thing into pretty much any pose you want, and with a stand, sky's the limit for what you could do. You could also get this guy onto like a flying stand and make him jetpack off, whatever you really want to do. That's really cool. There is a belt clip hole for Obi-Wan's hilt, which is really, really cool. I personally think they maybe should have just included it with the figure for people like me that don't have an Obi-Wan hilt, but it is what it is. I included Luke's hilt, actually, in this review. They look pretty similar, but not the same. Plus, I could always go for more accessories. More accessories, more the merrier. Other than that, I feel like I had a lot more complaints with this figure. I am still happy that I have this figure, but I'm going to have to put a lot more work into it to make it what I want it to be, and that's kind of an L on Hasbro's part. But overall, for people that don't really care about that kind of stuff, I would say that this is a fantastic figure, and you shouldn't let those little things get in the way of you collecting. Because it's not like Star Wars figures have always been perfect, 100% accurate to the movies or whatever, so don't let those little things get in the way of you enjoying this hobby. That's just a nitpick from me, from my perspective. This figure, Savage Opress, the Deluxe Savage Opress. I really like this figure. This figure is fantastic. All new updated sculpt. Tons of great paint apps. weathering dark wash all over this dude. You can see it there in the light. It's just fantastic. I think this is a fantastic figure. It's got a ball joint here in the wrist, so you can move that dude around completely, like revolve it. It's fantastic. So much great things to say about this. The only thing, there are a couple things I don't like about this figure. A couple of things I don't like. I don't like how they kind of made it look like this gray, plasticky shading on the hilt. I've always liked the kind of more metallic look that they've had on the hilts, and I feel like this is pretty inconsistent with how the rest of the lightsabers look. I mean, for example, look at this Obi-Wan. This Obi-Wan has a silver finish on it, on the hilt, and that's what Savage should have looked like if they were trying to kind of keep in tone with the rest of the line. I don't like when figure companies do that. I don't like when they try to be inconsistent with paints or whatever. It's kind of upsetting. They did that a lot in the Lightning Collection, and that was kind of frustrating. Hasbro's Power Ranger Lightning Collection. So that is kind of weird. And also, for the deluxe price, I know this is a whole new sculpt, and I can't expect Hasbro to be like, yeah, we're going to give you tons of new sculpts and stuff like that, and it's only going to be a deluxe price. I figured that this whole new sculpt with 2 new accessories sculpted as well was going to be a deluxe price. But for the deluxe price, I also would have expected a robot arm. They totally could have included the robot arm and an extra head, maybe with like more of a grunting face with the broken horns. I would have really, really liked that. I think this would have made this like figure of the year contender, honestly, if they had done something like that. Again, not every company can be a Hot Toys where they just include all the shit that you would need to create like an ultimate display version of that character in figure form, but that would have been really cool. It is a deluxe figure, and that would have been awesome. But that's not really a nitpick. That's more of just like I just personally wish they would have done that, and that would have been really cool because they could have done that, and they didn't, but it is what it is. I know some people also put certain characters next to certain characters from certain eras right next to each other in their collection, and this will probably bother some people because, as you know, Maul's appearance when Savage looked like this, they don't have a Black Series figure for that. And Maul's Clone Wars appearance with the robot Mandalorian legs and the whole Mandalorian getup after he was saved along with Savage. Savage has the robot arms and so it kind of is an inconsistent look. So you could put this guy next to your Clone Wars Maul and it would look cool and it would look great and everything, but for people that kind of bothers, like, oh, it's just not consistent, it's not accurate. Yeah, I could definitely see that bothering some people. So in that regard, I do wish that they had the robot arm and the broken horns included with this deluxe figure, especially for the price. But overall, don't get me wrong, fantastic figure, totally worth the money, awesome. Really, really enjoyed posing this guy. Really enjoy the look of this guy. Can't wait to get this guy on my shelf. He's a big boy. Next up on the list, we got this 2-pack here, the Night Trooper with Captain Enoch. Gonna be honest, just gonna get it out of the way right off the bat. I kind of wish that they had included some darker washes over these figures. I mean, these guys had been stranded on that planet, for what, like, was it a decade, 2 decades or something like that? I mean, look at them. They're cracked up, they're beat up, barely holding together. They should definitely have some dark wash on them. I don't really know why they didn't do that, other than they were being lazy and didn't want to put the money into it. I thought that was kind of weird. I also think it would have been cool maybe to include like a extra helmet or something for him to kind of, create a differential. Like if you want, I want a Night Trooper up there with this helmet, and then I also want a Night Trooper up there with this helmet to kind of give it a different look or something like that. That would have been cool, especially for the 2-pack pricing. A lot of people got this on sale, but that would have been an even better bonus. Also, don't really understand why they included a gray blaster. They usually are black. They are always black in the show, so I don't really know why they decided to cast that in the gray plastic coloring, but they did, and I find that kind of weird. They got the black and gold here with Enoch, which is cool, and I appreciate that. Enoch is kind of hard to get in poses because of this thing. It would have been nice if there was like some kind of cut or slit in the apron here, but alas, that did not happen. But otherwise, I really like these figures. I think they're very cool. I love getting this guy into like weird zombie poses and whatnot. He's pretty cool. He's in the standard best 6-inch Stormtrooper body for the Black Series, so that's cool. Those of you that are familiar with that body will enjoy this just the same. And it's got the new sculpted parts with the wraps on it and the cracks and whatnot. So that's really, really cool. And Captain Enoch looks fantastic. He looks super duper cool. There's a lot of paint apps on there. The gold and the red and the blacks and everything look fantastic. A lot of new sculpts going into this. So this is really cool. I mean, honestly, my only real nitpick is that I wish that there was a wash over this figure. The extra head was just kind of more of a want. But yeah, fantastic 2-pack. Really, really cool. A lot of people got it for very cheap. There was a Walmart sale going on for like $13, $14, I think, for these guys. I kind of missed that. I was kind of busy with other stuff, so I missed that sale. But I got these guys for a pretty good price regardless. Paid less than retail, and yeah, I'd say it was worth it. And then next up we got Kelnaka. I waited to get this guy on sale. I thought, the deluxe pricing was insane for this guy. I know like a lot of new tooling went to this guy, but it's just not worth it to me in terms of the accessories. No extra head, no extra hands. It was just the robe and the lightsaber, which if you ask me, that's something essential for every Black Series Jedi. Every Black Series Jedi should come with a robe and a lightsaber. That is bare minimum. And if you ask me, just because he's bigger doesn't really make him a deluxe figure. He's bigger, sure. Deluxe, not so much. Deluxe, for me, means it comes with a bunch of accessories. This guy came with barely any accessories. So I got him on sale. But other than that, this figure is pretty cool. You can get him into a decent amount of poses for how big and luggish he is. The robe is pretty hard to get on and a little bit hard to get off. But other than that, not so bad. There's a little bit of whitewash in his hair up here and his beard, which I appreciated that they did that. There's some darker wash down here. They actually colored the beads in his hair, which I really appreciate. That's fantastic. All of the colors and stuff are on his belt, which is great. The lightsaber hilt is pretty thick, so you can't really get into Jekki's hand if you have that figure and you're kind of wanting her to dual wield the green lightsabers, like when she's fighting the Stranger in Episode 5 of the Acolyte. And his blade is pretty fucking long. They kind of give him the Darth Malgus treatment there with the long-ass green blade. I'm probably going to shorten it, or maybe I won't, I don't know, but pretty long blade. And they also gave him the really cool Wookiee tattoos here into the shaved part of his head, which I thought was incredible detailing. It's pretty great. I love when Hasbro does this kind of stuff. Look, the beads are even colored here in the back. That's great. You can tell that they really did put some effort into this figure, and that's really awesome. A really cool character. Pretty much a whole new sculpt, surprisingly. I kind of was expecting them to have a lot of reuse from Black Chrysanthemum, but it's really not a whole lot of reuse, which I'm impressed. I am honestly impressed. And then Yord here, this is a pretty cool figure. This is pretty similar to the sculpt that we had for Soul, Master Soul. You can get this guy into a decent amount of poses. I dig the yellow lightsaber. I liked this character in the show. They also kind of shaded his hair, which that's very, very cool. I was not expecting them to do that. They really did put a lot of love and effort into the Acolyte figures, which I really appreciate. I thought it was a pretty good show. If you're going to hate or do any of that shit in my comment section, please get the fuck out. I don't care what your negative opinions are of the show. I mean, if you liked it, that's great. If you didn't like it, that's also great. I just don't fucking flood my comments with, the Acolyte sucked, the Acolyte was so terrible. I don't fucking care, man. I like the figures. I like the show. That's my own personal opinion, and this is a pretty good figure. The yellow lightsaber is fantastic. It'll look great up there with Jekki and Master Soul and Kelnaka, and I'm very excited to get that new Stranger figure. I'm really hoping for the new Stranger figure. I'm just going to insert my thoughts and hopes here. Wishful thinking. I hope for the Stranger figure, it's a deluxe figure. It comes with a Shoto blade. I hope that there's a cloth goods cloak and a hard plastic or softer rubber cloak too that you can put on him just for like straight standing poses. And then a cloth one for more dynamic poses. I really hope they do that. And then maybe an extra head with the civilian head sculpt, or just a helmet that you could put right over it. And I'm also hoping for some extra hands, possibly. But that's a long shot. I'll be surprised if we even get the Shoto blade, to be completely honest with you. But some wishful thinking there. And yeah, that was my review. Hope you guys enjoyed this whole review. I did it a little bit differently than I did the last one. Pretty similar in essence, but overall there were some differences in how I cut everything together. Let me know what you think of these figures down below. I know I was a little bit negative about some of them. I really do love the Black Series. It's just, I do think it's important that when you feel like you've got opinions about a toy company's output and the amount of money that you are spending on them, that you let your voice be heard as a collector. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just simply voicing my opinions, letting y'all know what I think of them before you spend your money on these figures, and just kind of creating some conversation too, kind of throwing out some opinions and whatnot. So yeah, let me know what you thought about this review down below. Do you have any of these figures? Do you like any of these figures? Do you agree with any of my opinions? Let me know your opinions about these figures. Like, comment, subscribe, and Devonius out.